both both Jen and I did that successfully because we are in our roles. you know.
Well, you know what was crazy? I don't know if you remember this, Craig, but I actually had to do mine over a Zoom. I was supposed to
I
go to your
remember.
office.
Yes.
And so how is the format for you, Alexis? Like, are you because this is directly, so it's a panel, so I'm assuming it's a Zoom, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Because it's national. Yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the Zoom is a Zoom meeting.
How comfortable are you doing Zooms and presenting?
I think I do amazing. I think I do
I
amazing.
love your optimism. That's great.
Yes, I prepared for this meeting just some bullet points of what I would kind of sort of say and maybe like some talking points. Um, but I would love to
Did you
hear
want
like you guys' experiences as I like cultivated.
to? Okay. Did you want to share your screen of what you have so far? Like, what's the presentation medium that you're gonna use for Tuesday?
I was thinking like a Google Slides.
Google Slides. Okay.
Well,
Perfect. Okay.
well, like a downloaded version. Well, I use Google Slides, but I would use just the PowerPoint and just go through them
Okay. Perfect.
regularly. How does that sound?
Yeah, I think that's what we both used for ours.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Yeah, and then like how did you complete yours? Like, or like I'm not sure if I what questions to ask.
Yeah. So, do you have your prompt? Can
Yes.
we see your prompt? Because I haven't. It should be this. It should be a similar prompt that was for Jen. I'm pretty sure it has both long term and short term goals.
Mm-hmm. Basically.
Okay.
Here it is. Okay.
I mean, it could be a little different because it's national. Okay. Okay. So talent system data, you'll support the guidance scenario job attainment rates has stagnated below their KPIs. I think this is a little different from yours, Jennifer.
Yeah. No, it totally.
Leadership
Let's
wants
see.
clearer, more consistent data to understand what's really driving. Yeah, this is different from yours. You've just started as the manager, and your goal is to make progress in your first 90 days. So, understanding the problem, working with others, making improvements. Okay. This,
I think mine was like a 90-day, like kind of like how you would tackle your job type of a situation. I had several different things I think I was supposed to focus on. But yeah,
okay. Is this the only page, Alexis?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Um, so for me, and I'm pretty sure Jen would echo, especially when you're going to use PowerPoint or slides,
Mm-hmm.
organization is going to be your key.
Mm-hmm.
So um, I would make sure that um, the panel can follow along with you really clearly.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say the first like one or two slides would explicitly state like understanding the problem. The next couple slides would specifically state working with others. So that way they are very clear on where you are going on your journey.
Mm-hmm.
And so, for instance, when it has, what would you first? What would you do first? What would you first what would you do first to figure out where the data discrepancies or process issues are between HubSpot and Salesforce, right? I don't know. I mean, I am very anal, so I always like to do it from a perspective of I would probably restate the question so that way the question is clear
Mm.
on your PowerPoint, just in case there's going to be someone stepping into your panel that may be pulled from the side that doesn't know about this prompt. right? So that way that person's able to follow along if they're not as familiar with this prompt as other people now.
Yeah, I like that, and I think it also forces Alexis to sort of take his time and to be like clear on, you know, exactly what he's presenting on, rather than rushing through it. So yeah, I think, yeah, being very kind of, what's the right word? I've been like this all day, or like I can't get the right words out of my mouth. But intentional about each step of this is going to be important.
Yeah.
That's perfect. I'm just writing the notes.
Okay.
So you already prepared your presentation, correct, or no?
Mm-hmm. I prepared it. I prepared just the outline of what I was going to do.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, sorry. It was 2 papers.
Okay. And back in my training and development days, Alexis, I came across this book. It was called Presentation Zen, and ever since that book, it kind of redefined every single thing I've ever put together as a presentation. You know, coming from HR within training and development, especially if you're using a presentation software like Slides, I think it's a really nice touch if you can really find a supplement through text with pictures, right? And the pictures, you know, should have meaning and purpose, and you know, be guided by the text that you're displaying. So it could be like, you know, 2 people in a working in office environment, right? Kind of not, for me, not those cartoony type of pictures, but more of like showing business folks that can. So for me, I always say before I put this picture on this PowerPoint, does it guide the story along of which I'm telling? And when it does, it can really reinforce the message, right? And it gives the person listening and reading your presentation as like a good reference point. And so that kind of takes a PowerPoint from good for me to great. And there's a lot of forms you can use, like those business, like those stick figures that we see, like those are common, like in business PowerPoints. Yeah, however your style is, but I think having a visual aid in a presentation, especially one like this, can be really helpful of making you stand out above other candidates.
I agree, especially for a tech role, right?
Yeah.
Especially, yeah, I like this. I like that. Okay, that's perfect. Got that down as well.
I think what's helpful, and I think I like to use this because I think this probably came up in all of our all of our presentations, especially in your role, right? You're gonna be dealing. I think that could really tap into either the first question or the second question, right? Being able to articulate your distinction between quantitative data and also qualitative, right? What we see in whether it's Salesforce, right? What we often see is quantitative, right? Our numbers tell us a certain thing, right? But what the numbers don't tell us is what the qualitative does tell us, and the qualitative always gives us a why, right? And I think when it comes to our positions within Persolis, Jen knows this so well to be true in her couple of months, right? It's the qualitative stuff that tells us why the numbers are telling us what they're telling us. And if we don't provide that context, then it's hard to make improvements if we don't know the why. Right, I'll give you a perfect example. I just had to do that, Alexis, with your cohort, right? Quantitatively, we had a lot of drops in that class, right? You know it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That class was full.
Yeah.
So quantitatively, the class, it didn't look good, right? Because, oh my God, Craig, why are there so many drops? Qualitatively, it told a whole different story because there were people that had full-time work schedules. There were people that had other stuff going on outside of their academic studies. And so when I came on with the qualitative side, it provided a lot more context as to why we have so many drops, which opened up a bigger picture to say that Los Angeles learners have different challenges than other parts of the country, right? Cost of living out here is higher, right? We've got other things that are going on, and for Persolis as a whole, I don't think personally our learners have the luxury often of going through this intense program and not working anymore, right? So if you can find a way to put that qualitative versus quantitative into your presentation, I think that's going to really hopefully set you up for a really good discussion on those KPIs.
I like that.
I mean, is that sort of what their whole question is? I'm like looking at the scenario where it's like basically saying like the difference between what's tracked in HubSpot, player engagement, alumni follow-up, and Salesforce job attainment. It's saying that so they want it to be more, yeah, so it's basically just saying that's just not lining up with what the results are, and the data isn't well, is it validating the data as well?
Yeah, because what this is saying, how I'm interpreting it as HubSpot could show well, I don't know. I guess it's kind of up to interpretation, right? It says there's a discrepancy between what's tracked in HubSpot, like employer engagement and alumni follow-ups, and
right,
Salesforce, like attainment. So leadership one's clear. So I guess the discrepancies could be potentially is HubSpot showing that is HubSpot showing high engagement? Like maybe HubSpot is showing high employee engagement, high alumni follow-ups, but it's not leading into job attainment.
Right. All right.
Right. So it seems like employers are engaged, alumni is engaged, but it's not turning into attainment.
That's cool. So they're trying to figure out like, okay, so what additional data would you add? Okay. Make improvements, change in automation, HubSpot and Salesforce for more accurate, useful.
So
okay.
My first thought is, where's the gap? If employers are engaged, if alumni is engaged, but it's not leading into job attainment, what's the gap between them getting hired? Potentially, what's missing? Are there qualities that the employers are not seeing when it comes time to making the offer, or for like what are they not seeing during the interviews? That's how I'm thinking about it. How about you, Jen?
Oh, so interesting, I just feel like there's so many different scenarios
Mhm.
that could impact job attainment. I mean, even if employers are engaged, right?
Mhm.
And the alumni is engaged, it's all great. But like, yeah. Um, how do we include that? Like, how do we include? I don't know. I mean, just real input from Talent Solutions staff um, to try to understand what's going on specifically. Like, I might be able to tell you, yeah, you know what, we had a bunch of candidates that got to the final round and it was just one of those things. Or maybe, like Craig was saying, we had people that, you know, we had challenges with one of the cohorts. It could have been a variety of different challenges. I'm just trying to think of like, it's just like so many different things can happen. Where it just might not pan out the way you exactly expect it to. Maybe the jobs were removed at the last minute, because of like something going on internally at that company. Um, I'm just it's there's just a lot of different factors. Um, but I would say probably most of the time you would expect that ratio to line up. Um, Maybe the employers don't have a lot of jobs. I mean, maybe they don't have the right jobs. Maybe we don't. Our students don't have the right qualifications. I don't know. I'm just thinking of all these different things, but um,
So kind of what you already have. So you have a systems audit, process mapping.
hiring's down. The market's not as good.
Is what we're saying making sense? Making sense, Alexis?
Oh yes, amazing sense. I'm
Okay.
in a candy store right now, downloading all the gems because I'm getting to hear it from your point of view, and I'm getting to hear it from actual talent solutions. Like so, it's like it's it's amazing.
I'm reading through what you have so far. I think, yeah. I mean, you're off to. This is really solid.
Yeah, this is my day 1 through 30. Just really gathering as much information as I possibly can. I don't believe that I can just come in and or say and assume that okay, this is it, this is it, this is it. We need to see what the real data is. So a system audit is super important. Um, and once I understand that, then doing the mapping with site leads, so that will be whoever's on each site. doing this basically the same thing, creating a think tank, just to create my next steps forward and go from there.
Who's on the panel?
People on the panel are